Hey everyone, Skull902 here, and this is part 5 of Super Mario Bros. 3, presented in my new commentary style, which will probably be just as bad as the old one, and it's not even really that new. I'm just going to try to take this one level at a time here. World 5 is sort of like the only half-and-half world in the entire game, because there's like a ground section of the world, and then you've also got like a sky section. You'll see that pretty soon here. We're also introduced to some new enemy types, like the little flower dudes that bounce around, I believe, first appear here, and a few others that I'm sure I'll make a mention of, or maybe not, when we run into them. 5-2 is sort of like a half and half level in this half of half world, half and half rather. I try to be very careful. That's why I went into the inventory, a bit of a rare thing before World 8, so that I could have a super leaf before I went ahead and did this. Because if you fall down, then you've got to go in an underground section with like a bunch of oh god, I'm forgetting what they're called. I'm gonna call them mighty beetles, and I really hope that's what they're called. Fuckers just chuck blocks at you. I think they appeared before, but mighty beetles are like, they kind of look like buzzy beetles, but they're fucking assholes. They pick up blocks and they just chuck them at you, and I don't know if it's because I'm god awful at video games, but it always seems to me that I have a very tough time adjusting to those guys and how they throw things and whatnot. It sucks. It really sucks. But there's an underground section with them. They throw their shit. I don't think I've ever beaten the level while going through the underground section. 5-3, much more enjoyable though. And the reason why is going to be coming up pretty soon here. Though I do stupidly take a hit yeah. But 5-3... only level in the game where you get Karibo's shoe, because there's a Goomba bouncing around. There's multiple Goombas actually bouncing around, and you gotta hit them from underneath when they're on top of the blocks in order to get this shoe here that lets you bounce around. And hey, there's another new enemy type that I can just walk right over, the little nibblers, and it's fucking awesome. The shoe feels good to just like run around in, and I don't know, man. They should have put this in more levels. I don't know what makes it so fun. But you can like jump on spinies and stuff. It's pretty overpowered actually, so maybe that's why it's only in this level. Fucking great though. Karibo's shoe is fantastic. Unfortunately though, you can't really get high on your P-speed with it. So unfortunately, no card match for you, Mario. With the card match, I forgot to mention this last time. Even if you get all different cards, the game is still nice enough to give you one life. So, you know, if you're desperate for a life and you just so happen to beat that third level that you needed to beat, there you go. The first fortress here in World 5, it's sort of a linear bit here at first. Lots of thwomps to avoid, and boos as well. A very scary place. Come on, Luigi. You can make it. You can make it, boy. Yeah. Though I think I do get hit on this next bit. And again, if you were wondering why exactly Luigi came in without any power-ups despite having the super leaf going in, Editing. It's all editing, folks. At least it's not Mario doing this level, eh? But in any case, we're about to get to Boom Boom now. And Boom Boom actually isn't an enemy that I've really talked about, because he's kind of piss easy. I dispose of him quickly most of the time. But Boom Boom, I'll just explain this now. He runs around the screen, and like the first phase, I think he just goes back and forth kind of slowly. And then the second phase, he'll like spout wings. Though it depends on what Boom Boom fight it is, and I'm forgetting like what the variation on that could be. But he'll like spout wings, and he like flies in an arc on the screen, and then for the third phase, he'll start moving much faster. And if you let him move very far, it does, in my opinion, get kind of hard to avoid him and get the hit on him. So a little difficult, I should say. It's not the hardest thing in the world. So that's Boom Boom. I can't believe that it took me that long to explain what Boom Boom is and what he does, but you know, whatever. And also these Hammer Bro fights. Again, the purpose of these is to get an item in your inventory. Who would have thought? So, next up, we have what the Super Gaming Brothers have dubbed Shit Tower. Something about Shit Tower is that both brothers are required to complete this. Now, I beat it as Luigi before I did as Mario, but then like I immediately lost the next level as Luigi. So I decided to include Mario's run because in addition to beating it, like it'll give you another turn immediately after. Like the same brother that beat it. And beating Shit Tower here is the way that you get to the sky portion of World 5. Just after this little bit, with these little fuckers here with the blocks. Man, those guys suck. No boss here. It's a fortress level without a Boom Boom. I think the only one in the game, actually. So, no need to worry about, like, fighting an enemy at the end or anything like that. You just go up here, dispose of the Koopa to be safe, though you don't necessarily have to. You climb up the vine, and then bing bam boom, you've got yourself a new portion of World 5 to play through, and how about that, yo? I was pretty lucky with Mario when recording this part. Didn't lose very many lives. Now, in the sky, they amp up the platforming quite a bit, and they throw, like, these spinning bits at you quite a lot as well. There are stationary ones that change depending on where you stand on it. Like if you're right on the middle, it won't change. But if you're on one end, it'll start going, and you need to like either jump to the other side to balance it out, or like jump jump in the middle or jump off or whatever. But you can't stay on because you'll fall down. So that's when World 5 really starts pulling out all the stops and throwing enemies and other sort of things at you. Again, Mario with all the luck here. That's like 3 turns in a row that he's gotten. This level in particular introduces us to the Fire Chomp, if I'm not mistaken. It could be a little later. But I think it in terms of gimmicks anyway, and not so much enemies, it introduces us to the donut blocks, which, oh, there's the Fire Chomp. I knew it! This level introduces us to the donut blocks, which will crumble after a little while when you stand on them. So you gotta either continually jump or make your next move if you want to make it through safely. In fact, you saw one of the donuts fall down there. I forgot Flying Koopas were a new enemy type in this game. And there's two variations. There's ones that just fucking fly. And then there are other ones that, like, drop Goomba babies. It disposes of its young in an attempt to halt Mario or Luigi. And it's pretty effective, actually. It fucks up your jumps, so you don't get nearly as much height on it, and they don't go away for a little while either, I don't think. So the Flying Koopas that attack you using their children as weapons, not wholesome. Not wholesome at all. Fuck those guys. Now then, I did watch an episode of Super Mario Bros. 3 before this, in order to have something to talk about, you know, in moments like this, where I can't think of much to talk about. So before recording this commentary, I watched the episode 7 Continents for 7 Koopas, or something along those lines. And it's not going to be as extensive as an episode summary as the last one, but I hope you enjoy it. So, Mario and Luigi are walking along in their frog suits, but hey, what's this? They're not going to the furry convention after all. Why do I keep fucking up the delivery on my jokes? They're just going along for a swim with the Toad and Princess Toadstool, who are in like actual proper swimming gear. Though I suppose I can't blame Mario and Luigi for wearing the frog suits, eh? We saw last part just how goddamn effective the frog suit is at helping you swim. So awesome mid-air takeout, by the way. Anything that I pull off that could be considered cool in video games is, like, always a coincidence. I'm a shit player. I am an absolute dog shit player. But anyway. So they're going along. They want to go for a swim, right? And then the Doom ship is flying along. And I forget what exactly their plan is. I think it's the same plan the whole way through. But they're like, ah, fuck. The engine's overheating. We need to take on water in order to cool it down. Mario, Luigi, and the princess obviously don't know what's going on. They all dive in to, like, the pond or whatever. Just as the Koopas decide to take on some water to cool down the engines. In the process, they take the princess away. They take the princess away, and then they go into the real world in order to take over the 7 continents. See, that's where the episode's title comes from. Mario, Luigi, and Toad are blocked. Not by the little block guys that you see there, but they are blocked from entering the warp pipe, thanks to some device that I think in the show his name is Kooky, but it's actually Ludwig von Koopa. Like, built and is using. So they're unable to save the princess. The princess finds out about their plan. Jesus Christ, that was close. Close with a couple of those spinies, actually. But the princess finds out about their plan, right? And she's like, well, fuck. I gotta stop them. So she goes to turn off the device, but oh no! There were alarms installed, and Princess Toadstool is taken captive. So while that's going on, Mario, Toad, and Luigi are all trying to find a way to unplug the warp pipe. And also, like, the Koopalings are sent off to each of the 7 world continents in order to fuck it up in some way. And if I can just get into that for a moment, their plans are almost all fucking horrible. Almost all of them. We got Roy Koopa, who I believe was called Bully, and he's just like, he's spray painting graffiti on the Great Wall of China. Like, what's that gonna accomplish? Yeah, it's an asshole thing to do, but, like, that's not exactly anything close to taking over the world or anything like that, you know? One of the other ones, Kooky. Fucking Ludwig. He turned all the wild animals in Africa into stuffed animals. Like, again, what's that gonna do? That's not gonna stop any of the governments. You know? You guys fucking suck at evil plans. The only ones that seemed to be of any usage at all was, one of them was in Australia and decided to turn all the humans into kangaroos, except for one who was like fucking Crocodile Dundee XP. And I forget what he turned him into, but it was obviously so that other people would chase him around. It was like a prey-predator thing. Crocodile Dundee's turned into the prey and is chased after. So the one Koopa kid could have killed Crocodile Cunt. Crocodile Cunt. That probably just saved my boring tale. Jesus Christ. So Crocodile Dundee is almost killed. Then there was another one that decided to create an abominable snowman. This isn't one of the good plans, by the way. An abominable snowman, but he doesn't, like, take out any of the scientific research facilities that are in Antarctica or anything. He just decides to torture penguins, which, I mean, you know, it's not nice. Don't bully the penguins. But, I mean, again, it's just not going to do anything. The only thing that you could effectively do in Antarctica is, again, like I said, you gotta attack the scientific research facilities. This is not advice for terrorists, by the way. Any terrorists who may be watching my content, please do not take any advice from me. Because I'm not giving you advice. Anyway, the other effective plan that I can muster and come up with and remember. It's not like I wrote the episode. Jesus Christ. Was, one of the ones voiced by Tara Strong is in, South Africa. No. God, I can't believe I made that elementary mistake. South America. And I wanted to mention this one specifically because not only is it a good plan, in terms of, like, world takeover or, like, just, like, fucking up the real world and whatnot. But it's also a demonstration of how, like, messages like this could be done way better and way more subtly than they seem to be made nowadays. Like, it's an environmental message. He decides to strip down the Amazon rainforest and replace it with a parking lot. And that's all that's mentioned about it. Right? That's all that's mentioned about it. He doesn't even have to say that it's bad in order to get the idea across that it's bad. And I was just thinking about that, and I was like, you know, that's far more subtle, far more well done than like Detective Pikachu. I'll use as an example. I saw Detective Pikachu pretty recently, though by the time this video comes up, died long. By the time this video comes around, it'll be like a few weeks since I've seen it. That doesn't matter. But I saw Detective Pikachu, and there's this scene where, like, they're all just running around, and, like, the earth is crumbling and changing around them and shit. And then Pikachu makes, like, a snide comment that's like, you know, with conditions like this, how could you possibly deny climate change? And, like, I get the message. I understand the message. I support the message. But, like, it's so anvilicious, you know, it's not done in a good way. It just comes across as, like, cringy, you know? So that's why I thought that they did these things better in the 80s and the 90s. to get those sort of messages across to people of all ages, really. You don't need to beat the idea over somebody's head, I think, in order to spread a good message. You can do it subtle, and like, as long as somebody has reasonable understanding, you can connect the dots and see that, like, you know, obviously turning the Amazon rainforest into a parking lot is a bad idea. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say about that episode. But the Koopalings are all quickly disposed of. Mario and Luigi and the Princess and Toad all have their like moment. They congratulate the princess for being instrumental in the plan, and she's like, you know, after you guys saved the Mushroom Kingdom all this time, it's good to pay you back. So everything worked out in the end, you know, and the real world was saved. And that's where I'm gonna end it because, quite frankly, I can't come up with much else to say. I've been Skull902. Thank you for listening to my extremely rambly, fucking awful recount of that Mario 3 episode. And fucking up my own jokes. And I'll see you next time. Have yourselves a wonderful day.